Protests continue to sweep Iran. Hundreds of thousands of Iranians have continued to stay in the streets, calling for the downfall of the clerics, the return of the crown prince, and even waving Israeli flags. President Trump, for his part, has indicated over and over again that help is on the way, and many are confused as to why that help has not arrived yet. In that regard, though, a report was just leaked this morning that may shed light on the entire situation. In the early days of the protests throughout Iran, the Ayatollahs managed to cut off most internet access to the public, opening the door for barbaric treatment of their own people with little outside accountability. Elon Musk was able to activate Starlink, which opened the door to some information to escape via satellite, but very quickly the Iranian government was able to jam a lot of that Starlink capability using reportedly advanced technology supplied by the Chinese. Over the last few days, Elon's team has been working to figure out a way to counteract that jamming, and Iran has seen little bits of information leak out here and there, and that information is horrifying. Basically, the IRGC are in the streets, armed to the teeth, and they are shooting their own people in mass. There are videos surfacing that are way too graphic to show here on YouTube. We're talking men, women, children murdered in the streets, shot in the head, lying in their own blood. You can see in these videos here hundreds of bodies piled up in the morgues with family members walking through looking for missing loved ones. As of today, the official number from the IRGC is that nearly 3,000 people have been killed and more than 18,000 arrested, but watchdog organizations are putting that number of killed at possibly over 12,000, if not higher. This recorded phone call is making the rounds on social media this morning. It's a call from someone in Iran describing how horrible the situation is right now.
هیچ کس حدس رو حتی فکرش هم نمیکنه، حتی تو تصورات خودش هم نمیبینه که امروز تو ایران چه اتفاقی داره میفته. هزار نفر آدم کشته شدن، دوستا، رفیقا، تمام عزیزان ما کشته شدن تو ایران. فقط صدای ما باشید، بهترین صدای ما دنیا بشنوه. اگر توی چند روز آینده اتفاقی نیفته همه ایران قتل عام میشن، همه ایران قتل عام میشن. به خدا نمیخوام اغراق کنم، ولی واقعا وضعیت وحشتناک و خفقانه.
President Trump has said for his part repeatedly that help is on the way for the Iranians.
And by the way, to all Iranian patriots, keep protesting, take over your institutions if possible, and save the name of the killers and the abusers that are abusing you. You're being very badly abused. And I've canceled all meetings with the Iranian officials until the senseless killing of protesters stops. And all I say to them is help is on its way.
Many saw this as confirmation that America was coordinating military action against the Ayatollahs, and later reports were spread that the Pentagon was presenting Trump with a list of potential strike options for the American military to carry out against Iran. But later in the day, President Trump seemed to defuse this idea with his statement.
Americans woke up this morning and they saw that you said help is on the way.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
Well, there's a lot of help on the way, and in different forms, including economic help from our standpoint, and not going to help Iran very much. And, you know, we put Iran out of business with their nuclear capacity, and now, depending on what's actually happening, nobody's been able to give us accurate numbers about how many people they've killed.
Well, on that point,
but it looks
Mr.
like
President,
it could be a pretty substantial number, and that's going to be a lot of problems.
Basically, we're looking at a couple of different options. The U.S. military could carry out strategic strikes in Iran, dealing the final blow to bring the Ayatollahs to their knees, or Israel could carry out these strikes at the behest of the American government, or alternatively, Iran could preempt these strikes by launching a strike of their own against Israel and also possibly American air bases in the region. And this last option is a very real threat. Iran has threatened as much publicly, and over the last few days, in fact, the IDF have been activated on a high level of alertness, in their words, for, quote, possible surprise scenarios from Iran. Over the course of last night and this morning, Canada, the US, France, New Zealand, Japan, China, Ireland, Taiwan, Singapore, the UK, India, and Germany have all issued warnings to their citizens saying that if they are in Iran, now is the time to get out. Also this morning, the IRGC issued their own statement saying they are on the highest level of alert, also saying their missile stockpile has increased since last summer, a direct threat against Israel. So back to the headline of this video as to why the US has not yet attacked Iran, as President Trump indicated they would. Well, according to a new report from NBC News, there are Arab and Israeli officials quietly pressuring Trump behind the scenes to hold off on a strike. The officials involved have not yet been publicly named. In a separate report yesterday from the Wall Street Journal, they said the Saudis, Qatar, and Oman are also pressuring the US not to attack Iran because, according to them, it would shock the oil markets. Also, the Saudis publicly stated that they would in no way assist America in a strike, and the US wouldn't be able to use Saudi airspace in an operation against Iran. This seems kind of baffling, as the Saudis should have every incentive to want to see the Ayatollahs fall, especially if it's the Americans who make this happen. But back to the report from NBC yesterday, the unnamed Arab and Israeli officials pressuring against the American strike on Iran are doing so for very different reasons than the Saudis and Qataris. Apparently, they are more concerned that a strike right now would be too soon to be effective. This is from NBC. They said, quote, Israeli and Arab officials have told the Trump administration in recent days that they believe the Iranian regime may not yet be weakened to the point where U.S. military strikes would be the decisive blow that topples it. The Israeli and Arab officials have suggested that President Donald Trump, who is weighing military action in Iran in response to the regime's deadly crackdown on protesters, hold back on large-scale strikes for now, with some of them preferring to wait until the regime is even more strained, the sources said. They also noted the situation in Iran is rapidly developing, with the stability of the regime potentially changing quickly in one direction or the other. Another thing that may affect the timing of all of this is the story of a 26-year-old man named Irfan Soltani, who was arrested during the protests this last week. Irfan is unfortunately scheduled to be executed today by the IRGC without trial. President Trump, when asked about it, said this.
I haven't heard about the hanging. If they hang him, you're going to see some things that I don't know what where you come from and what your thought process is, but you'll perhaps be very happy.
What do you mean by that?
We will take very strong action. If they do such a thing, we will take very strong action.
And this strong action you're talking about, what's the end game?
The end game is to win. I like winning.
So if, God forbid, Irfan were to be executed today, who knows how that could change the situation for Trump and how he proceeds from here. This is footage of a mass funeral being held this morning in Tehran for members of the Iranian regime who were killed at the protests. You can hear in the ceremony people chanting, "Death to America."
مرگ بر آمریکا آمریکا آمریکا.
This is a very quickly developing story. Things are changing by the hour. Let's hope, for the sake of the Iranian people and the stability of the Middle East, that the blood of the murdered protesters will not have been shed in vain, and the Ayatollahs will be toppled very soon to be replaced by peaceful rulers, God willing. Guys, if you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with a friend. Also, leave us a comment down below with your thoughts on the matter. As always, thanks for watching.